Hello and welcome to South Regional TAFE. This session is a general information session involving many of the training areas across the college, and I've also got two representatives as the coordinating team, Alison O'Neill and Amber Collegia, to answer any questions that you may have during the session. So the TAFE College is broken down into two main training portfolios. One is trades, paraprofessionals and service industries that I'm the training manager for, and my name's Anita Host. And Tiana Spencer looks after commerce, health and environmental sciences. So in those two portfolios, we have coordinators that work directly with us as training managers to make sure that we support the lecturers and all the training that occurs on the grounds. Alison O'Neill will be talking to you about basically all the areas that sit in my portfolio, which is trades, paraprofessionals and service industries. And I've got Amber Collegia here talking about Tiana Spencer's area, which involves commerce, environmental sciences and health. So if you've got any questions as you go through, please hold till the end because we may cover them as we start to talk about the information of the areas. Otherwise, we'll be able to have some general information time at the end to answer a lot of questions that you may have, because I'm sure if you have a question, many of the others that are listening to this Zoom session will have the same question. And we should be able to make sure everyone's got all the information that they need to make the best choice for their training. So without further ado, I'll hand over to Alison O'Neill to talk about some of the areas that sit within my portfolio.
Thanks, Anita, and welcome. Most of the trades, paraprofessional and service industries are done under the apprenticeship mode. So an apprenticeship means you're employed within your specific industry, for example, as an electrician or as a carpenter, plumber, bricklayer, etc. So you're employed and part of your training is done on your workplace, but you also come onto campus and it may be you come one day a week throughout the semesters and years, or you may come under block release where you might come on campus for 6 days in a row, then you return to your workplace for a period of time. And most blocks occur about 6 to 7 times a year that you actually come onto campus where you are actively involved with your lecturers. At the completion of your apprenticeship, which are an average of about 3 years, you receive your qualification in addition to trade papers. Our service industries, we do have a lot of client interaction from the public, so you get to participate as if it's a real world, and we call this live works. And some examples of this within our Epicure training restaurant, which is a fully licensed restaurant where hospitality students provide the service, cookery students cook the food. We also have our beauty salons where we do a range of services that you find in industries such as waxing, tinting, nails, etc. And also a hairdressing salon where you, the apprentices in that particular area do come in 1 day a week and they practice a range of services, colour, blow wave, etc. These are all open to the public, and the lecturers' delivery is structured so that they're invited as the needs of the clients. And you're going to have to cut that one out, Alison.
And for assessment processes. So a bit further to that too, the paraprofessionals area involves building design and drafting and surveying, and also contract administration. So those particular courses you do need to apply through our TAFE admissions process. They are quite competitive, but in the surveying area, we also offer traineeships. So Alison touched on apprenticeships. We do have a lot of traineeships across the trades. We do have a lot of pre-apprenticeships. That is very, very high on our radar at the moment because industry are requiring that from many of the recruitment processes that they're currently doing at the moment. So we do have pre-apprenticeships in the area of electrical, automotive, engineering and construction. And also anything that's in high demand at any given time from industry that's available, we will put on board so that people can actually come in as a pre-apprentice, whether they come through a vet and schools program, whether they come through as a mainstream student, options for both. So is there anything else in the portfolio that you wanted to address, Alison, or we'll hand over to Amber?
Yes, I'd like to expand on the work placement component of a pre-apprenticeship. Part of this pre-apprenticeship and the number of hours required does vary between the qualifications, involves you going out and working unpaid work with an employer For many employers, they take this as an opportunity, and it's an extended job interview, if you like. Our turnaround rate from apprentices being converted into apprenticeships is extremely high. And with the demand, particularly in the construction area at the moment, we're finding a lot of our pre-apprentices are converting into apprenticeships.
Yeah, so the opportunities for those pre-apprentices are quite high because one, they're working with industry doing their work placement, and in the work placement components you have a logbook and there's many things that you must complete in that logbook. So you're working with their supervisors or any of their staff on site. It also gives them an opportunity to have a look at you as a particular potential apprentice into the future. So it's a really good opportunity, and it's got a high uptake by employers in the area so that they can actually interact with the TAFE college in one and interact with potential new apprentices as another added bonus.
It's also a wonderful opportunity to actually decide if that's what you really want to do before you commit to a 3-year apprenticeship. You get to have a go at it. Our construction pre-apprenticeships, we have different streams of, but there are a lot of generic units of study that you do, and a lot of the skills are very generic. So even if you do an apprenticeship in one area, you can apply those units that you've done and the skills that you've learnt to a different area. For example, moving from carpentry and joinery into bricklaying.
So a lot of the areas that sit within my portfolio are employer-based training. So that involves obviously an employer, a student as an apprentice or trainee, and then work placement in regard to pre-apprenticeships and things like that. The areas that don't is what I've related to before, which is building design and drafting, surveying and contract administration, and also some hospitality and cookery options that we have available with tourism and retail. So please, if you've got any questions in regard to any of those areas, make sure that you save them for the end of the session, and the coordinators are open to general chat. I'll now hand over to Amber Kalesia, who's going to speak about the commerce, health and environmental sciences area. So Amber.
Thank you and welcome. So our area is mostly based, like as Anita said, around environmental science, which includes all your horticulture, conservation, land management, and then going across into laboratory skills, which then branches into pathology, leading into our health area, which covers a lot to do with our aged care, nursing and community services and mental health. We also have our commerce area, which encompasses probably a really, really large scope, all the way from diploma in leadership and management, working through all the administration quals and finance areas, and then also looking at our foundation skills areas, where people can come and actually get a year 10 equivalency in general education for adults, or work on their English as a second language with our CESWI program. A lot of our area is actually classroom based. And when I say classroom based, it means your training is based here at TAFE. It's not a traditional classroom because at TAFE, we're preparing you for the workforce. So a lot of our courses are very hands-on and practical. We have some fantastic facilities here. Our NDIS training room has some of the best equipment that you will see out in industry. We have fully stocked nursing rooms with beds and all the bits and pieces that go with it. We also have an arts department that rivals most areas, and in our business and finance and IT computing, you can do everything from build a server, work on actual financial applications, and actually interact in an interactive office with everything that you'd need day to day. We also offer a lot of external training. So some of our qualifications you can actually do completely online through Blackboard with your lecturer. And that really suits people that actually can't come into TAFE. We don't offer that for all of our qualifications because we find that some of the skills are better done practically in class, in a group, and with that interaction with other students. We also do traineeships in a lot of the areas, and those traineeships are where you're at a workplace and you'll come in for either some training at TAFE where there's any gaps in your workplace you actually can't actually perform those tasks and learn those skills, or it's all done on site and our lecturers will come out and visit you and make sure that you're receiving the most quality training you can receive. We also do a certain amount of work placements, especially in our health areas. And those work placements are governed like set hours that you have to do. And they actually even include early childcare, which we even have a simulated creche here that you get to use. And yeah, we have lots of those facilities. So while we say classroom based, it doesn't mean you're actually sitting in a classroom working through text.
So the prep for nursing, that has some work placement as well, doesn't it? That particular course, Certificate 4 in preparation for nursing.
Yes, it's got a small component.
Yep. Well, that's
And
good.
yeah, and even I have to admit, I've never volunteered for it, but our pathology students actually get to do live bleeds and all that sort of stuff. So it's very, very hands-on here at TAFE.
And that's good. And that's across all of the live work components and the work placement components. It's real life. The more that we can align the training to exactly what you're going to be doing in industry around your qualifications, we do that as much as possible. So if you're not with an employer, we simulate that work placement or that workplace as much as we can on campus, so that when you do go out to the employer, you're feeling that you've got all the information that you need and you feel quite prepared to go into those workplaces and work alongside industry.
Definitely, because our main aim here is for work-ready skills to actually for you to go and get a job and be able to use those skills and feel proficient in your industry. So that's our main aim here.
And if you are an employer or an apprentice or trainee looking for work, we do have, just making sure that you're aware, that we do have our job skills office on campus. You can actually come through and speak to any of the ladies in that particular area. You come through to the main reception area and they'll send you through to the job skills office. So further to that, we have a lot of other support services, and I'll hand over to Amber to speak about those as well. Thanks, Amber.
Thank you. So while we're talking, if you've got any questions regarding any of the courses we offer here at TAFE, we actually have a course information service where you can contact us and our qualified staff will actually go through any of the questions you have, and they can put you in touch with a lecturer if you need. They can also help and assist you through TAFE admissions, where you can go and apply for any of our courses, some being competitive and some being non-competitive courses. So any information to do with your application for a course or needing some more information, please contact our course information services. We have further support services here at TAFE, which include our student services. Student services are there to provide any support needs you may need as a student. So this covers any learning difficulties, disabilities, and it can even range to anxiety and coming back into TAFE after not having studied for a long time. We actually have those services here for you to make it easier. We also have a counsellor on site from Tuesday to Thursday, and this is a free service offered to our students. That can be anything for personal reasons, study related, or anything else that comes up. We have those services here to best support you. Our library services, we have a full library here and computers to be used for study options. You can take books out. We also have a rather large digital library as well, where we have ebooks. There's ClickView and Canopy for all your videos and things like that you may need. And usually when the students get on there, they're lost for hours looking at the amount of resources we have, which is fantastic. Through the library, we also offer parking permits. So if you're a visitor to campus, you'll need a visitor parking permit, which you can access through front reception. All students, once you're actually enrolled with us at TAFE, you can go free and access your student parking permit. This student parking permit gives you parking at TAFE while you're here studying.
And it must be displayed at all times.
Yes, definitely. You don't want to get caught without that.
But it's also free of charge, free parking.
Yes, free parking. They also have a bookshop service. So some of our qualifications may require some text. The library can actually organise those books for you if you do not choose to purchase them online. And of course, we also have our fabulous Dexter's Cafe, which offer a refreshments during the school term from 7 a.m. to about 2 p.m. in the afternoon, which will see you for all your coffee needs and anything else you may need.
And they do have a range of food options for dietary requirements. So if you
Yeah.
have specific dietary requirements, you can actually order your lunch in the morning, making sure that you're being able to be serviced for those requirements as well. And you can pick up that order at lunchtime. So that option is also available.
At the end of Dex Cafe, there's also a student hub where there's microwave facilities, hot water, sink, a lot of charging stations for you to recharge your phone, laptop, etc., couches. It's a general communal area that is run by the students for themselves. There's some vending machines in there as well. So if your class runs over and you miss lunch, there is some food available still, and that is left open till 6 p.m. at night, so you can access that even after class to go and grab something to eat there. There's a lot of seating throughout the campus, some undercover outside Dexter's. We have a lot of park benches sitting in the gardens as well, where people like to gather. Very relaxed and casual and very communal environment for everybody. We also have Ngala Maya and our Aboriginal support services. So Ngala Maya is a space where you can go and study quietly and also gain some additional support. And we have our Tracy and Bev.
Yeah.
Sorry, Tracy and Bev from our Aboriginal support service, and they can provide you with additional assistance, an ear, drop in for a coffee, cup of tea with them.
Yeah, and any other information that you require in regard to those services. So please, we want to support your training journey. So if there's any questions that you have at the end of the session, please feel free to ask them openly. No question's a silly question, because I'm sure if you've asked the question, 5 or 6 other people will say, that's great.
Yeah.
I also wanted to receive that information. So please take this time now to ask those questions. Thank you very much, and welcome to South Regional TAFE. And I hope that you enjoy your training all the way through 2021 and ongoing. Thank you.
Thank you.